Today we're multiplying and dividing integers. This is the last of our rules for our integer checklist that you have already in your journal. And so it says what we're going to do is always multiply and divide numbers like normal, and then follow the integer or our triangle rules when we use our integer triangle. And what that means is, here's your triangle. We'll always use this, and it's just an easy way to remember your rules. And I like to say, think about a church and a steeple. At the top of the steeple at church, you have the cross. It's your positive sign. Okay? And then you have all of us who, from time to time, we're at a little negative, and so we're at the bottom. So if you have to create, or you're working on a worksheet or a test and you need to draw the triangle, just remember the positives up top, the cross is up top, and then your negatives at the bottom. Okay, so what we're going to do, and these are your steps. So step 1, and it tells you, step 1, multiply or divide. So over here we have negative 12 times 2. So we're just going to think about 12 times 2. What is 12 times 2? 24. So that's 24. Now we'll go back. That's step 1. So now we'll go to step 2 and use our triangle, which means we have a negative 12, so I'm going to cover up a negative. 2 is negative 2, so I'll cover up a negative. So both negatives are covered up, and I'm left with a positive. So two negatives multiplied together make a positive, so my answer will be positive 24. The next one, and this dot is just another way of showing that you're multiplying, we have 3 times negative 4. Well, we think 3 times 4, step 1, 3 times 4 is 12. And we have a positive 3 times a negative 4. And what's left is our symbol. So that means our answer is going to be negative 12. Our next one, the star asterisk, it still means to multiply. So 10 times 3, just like normal, is 30. And a positive, notice there's only one positive up there. So a positive and a positive is just like you've multiplied ever since you've started doing multiplication. Your answer is positive. Okay. Next we have 18 times 5. And if you need to do a little margin math over here, just come to the side. 18 times 5. 8 times 5 is 40. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 4 is 9. So we get 90. Multiplying just like normal, then go back to your triangle. A negative and a negative gives you a positive. 16 times negative 2. 16 times 2 gives us 32. And you have a positive times a negative. And that leaves me with the negative. Okay. 3 times 7, 21. Negative, negative. Go back up. It's a positive. So my answer has to be positive. Now we have multiple integers here. So we're going to do it just as we have been doing. Cover up the back half and look, negative 2 times negative 4. Well, 2 times 4 is 8. And a negative times a negative leaves our positive. So 8, positive 8. Then I just bring down my negative 3. 8 times 3 equals 24. And then I have positive 8 and a negative 3, and so what's left is my answer, negative. So I get negative 24. Alright, and our last one for multiplication, take it a step at a time. 7 times 2 is 14. You have a negative 7 and a positive 2, so your answer is negative. Bring down your negative 3, just bring it down. Okay. And we can come over here and do 14 times 3 if we need to for a little margin math. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry my 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So we get 42. But if you go back and look at your triangle, you have a negative and a negative, and that leaves you with a positive. So now we're going to bring down our 6. And now we'll need to do 42 times 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 1 is 25. So 252, and both of these are positive answers, or positive integers, so our answer has to be positive. Okay. Same thing with division. We have lots of ways to look at division here, but it all means the same. Lots of symbols. 36 divided by negative 6. Go back to step 1, multiply or divide. So we're dividing. 36 divided by 6 is 6. And we have a positive and a negative, so I'm left with a negative. 32 divided by 2 is going to be 16, but they're both negative, so cover them up. And what's left is a positive. Negative 10 divided by 5, so 10 divided by 5, we know is 2. A negative divided by a positive gives me the negative. So I have negative 2. Negative 16 divided by 2, so 16 divided by 2 is 8. I have a negative divided by a positive, leaves me with my negative, so my answer has to be negative. How many times will 7 go into 14? So this is written as long division, but we know 7 goes into 14 2 times. We have a negative 7 and a positive 14, which makes my answer negative. And the last one, negative 12 divided by negative 4. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. And we have a negative divided by a negative gives us the positive. So our answer is 3. I know I went through this pretty fast, but you're welcome to replay it, slow it down, pause it, and work through.